Hello.
Welcome. Hey everyone. So this is Two Girls and a Dad review. I say that with a question because we're not sure. Maybe we'll change the name, but that's.
If you have any name suggestions.
I guess so. Maybe so. If you do have some, I guess you can
comment.
All right. So the purpose of this, this is our first video, but the purpose of this was I've got two daughters. Actually, I have three, but two that are at movie-going age for some PG-13 films and whatnot. And my wife and I, we're a Christian household, and we wanted to find out about movies with mature content, language, violence, and we didn't see a lot of that out there. There's a few sites, but not much. Most of it's just like, the movie's good, the movie's bad. But what about anything that we wouldn't want to subject our children to yet, that type of material, because the rating system is totally different. I grew up in the 80s, most films are PG, and you can tell when it's PG. The themes are PG, and then a lot of films were even G. And then when PG-13 was introduced, it was a little heavier, and so I just think it's different today. Now it seems like everything's PG-13, language can be out there, there's a lot more mature content, and it's hard to tell. So we wanted to devise or make a site, a channel that mom and dad can check out really quick, and the kids can also have fun because we're going to have their perspective as well. Initially we wanted Avengers Endgame, but everyone's seen that. So if you're one of the 4 people who haven't seen it, sorry, you can check out somewhere else. So instead today, we have Aladdin.
Aladdin.
Yes. And then after we're also going to do Rhapsody and I.
Godzilla.
Saw Godzilla, King of the Monsters. So, this is Rhapsody.
Hello. And I'm Violet.
This is Violet. And I'm Dad, otherwise known as Chris. So, anyhow, so real quick, Aladdin, Mom and Dad, it's just like, as far as the child-friendly, the adult content, anything like that, it's like the original. It was great. No language, the violence was, I think the violence was actually less than what was in the animated. So, yeah, and it's wonderful. It's a great film. There's not a big political, social agenda I didn't see compared to a lot of films that have been out lately. Case in point, I saw X-Men last night, and there was a big political agenda in that. And you know, I have problems with it because I'm just like, I just want to come to a movie and enjoy it. I want my family to be able to come to a movie and enjoy it. When I grew up, there was no political agenda in films. It was just enjoy. You're going to escape the day, a long week, whatever it was, parents working, kids at school, and you just wanted to have some fun time together in a different world, different space. And that's how films were. There was no ulterior motive. And so anyway, Aladdin, I didn't really see that. It was a little pro-female, pro-women, which is fine. I mean, I've got 3 girls, so I want them to have that, but it wasn't like men are bad or anything like that. It was wonderful. So with that being said, if mom and dad, if you're wondering about the safety content, the language content, violence content, mature content, there is nothing. It's just like the animated version behind us that's playing. So anyhow, let's move on to the reviews. So girls, what did you guys think about the film overall?
It was a great family movie. I really enjoyed watching it with you.
Oh,
it was really exciting, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch, and that's what I like in a movie.
Good. Yeah, actually, Aladdin personally is my favorite Disney animated film. It still is today. I remember when I saw it back when it came out, I think in '88, something like that, '89. I don't know. It was a while back. And I was a young teenager, and I was just like, I think I was about your age, honey. And I loved it. Loved it, fell in love with it, loved the story of, you know, Aladdin and the genie and the pursuit of winning the girl. Me being a young teenage boy, it resonated. So it was my favorite film. and I was really impressed with it, with the live action. It was a lot of fun. So, what'd you like about it, girls?
It was just a great movie. I like movies that are fun to watch.
I liked
And
how
maybe-
it was mostly the same to the old one, but they still added different things to it.
Yeah?
And I love the genie and the magic.
You love the genie?
Yeah.
You like Will Smith? They don't even know who Will Smith is. Yeah, they're like, no. He's Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He's awesome. He was the king of the 90s. Late 80s, 90s, and then even king into the early 2000s with film. But Will Smith was spectacular as a genie. I mean, it's hard to replace Robin Williams, who did the voice in the original. And if you followed the animated, Aladdin 2 animated that Disney put out, didn't have Robin Williams, and it wasn't that good. So then they brought Robin Williams back for Aladdin 3, and these were all straight to video. I remember I used to work at Video Central. That dates me, but any of you guys watching it who know what that is, that then it got bought by Hollywood Video, and these girls have no idea what that is, but any adults may remember. And I remember when those came out, and I watched them both because I loved Aladdin. And yeah, the second one wasn't that great, but when they brought Robin Williams back, there's just something about it, and Will Smith captures that wow, that energy, and that tenderness, that true emotion and companionship that a great friend can be. So I think that was good.
Yeah.
You put here, I'm seeing you like Raja. Who likes Raja?
I don't know. I've always really liked Raja because it's not an ordinary tiger.
What, not mauling you? An ordinary
No.
Bengal tiger?
It has emotions.
You thought Raja was better in the live action than in the animated?
I don't know.
Huh. And,
Why is he
They
your
both
favorite?
seem
Why
to
is he your
defend
favorite?
Jasmine.
yeah, well, yeah. I thought Raja was a little timid in the live action, personally, because I was like, wow, Jafar's guards, what they're doing, and I thought Raja would like, but like I said, the violence in it is there is no violence, so it's good in that sense. We don't want to see a tiger mauling somebody, so it was good. I put you said you liked the genie? Yeah, he was great. Anything you girls disliked about the film?
Jafar could have been a bigger villain. They could have worked more on him.
I will say this film, Disney was being very diverse, which is great. So they had true Middle Eastern actors other than Will Smith. So it was very diverse in that sense, and that's great because it brought authenticity. And so the actor that played Jafar, I'm sorry, I don't know his name, he was very serious. He was great in the role, but it's just different feel because, we're used to this sort of over the top. In the animated version, I think it was a British actor, or it might have been an American actor, but the way he's playing is almost British with this sort of over the top sort of aristocracy kind of pompousness about him. And in the live action, they try to ground Jafar a little bit more. And so he's more serious, he has less humor, I will say. And so, yeah, I do miss, like Jafar, he's hilarious. Even though he's intense and evil, there's a comedy about him, especially him and Iago. What about Iago? Iago wasn't quite the same because, it was just a parrot that was, they made him live action, so, but he was just, talked in the animated. Gilbert Gottfried was amazing. Alan Tudyk does the voice of, they don't know who Alan Tudyk is. If you're a sci-fi fan like me, you know who Alan Tudyk is. He's great. He did the voice of Iago in this, but Iago's character was simply sort of to emphasize and repeat certain phrases, whereas Gilbert Gottfried had his own character and they had their own relationship and conversation when Jafar and Iago would be on an animated. So yeah.
But I disliked how they didn't introduce Jasmine in the beginning, and she wasn't they didn't show her escape the palace. anything. Yeah.
They have a different introduction for Jasmine, but Jasmine has a much bigger role
Yeah.
in the live action. Disney actually went, as I stated, kind of a stronger female role, but it was still balanced because, you know, the movie's called Aladdin. You can't disregard Aladdin just to boost Jasmine. No, they had equal stories, which was great. So you see it from both perspectives, and Disney did a good job of balancing it to where one wasn't more significant than the other. Both storylines were significant, but Jasmine's introduction was different, that's for sure. Hello everyone. So, real quick, parents, parents, if you're wondering about language, violence, mature content, political agendas, anything like that. Language, there is some language. It's a PG-13 film, but I think it's a realistic response to a 400-foot giant reptile fighting in front of you, or bursting out of the ground, or giant monsters popping out everywhere. I mean, this film has like 20 plus monsters. I don't know, there's a bunch of monsters, and so the language is there. The few times that, you know, someone, well, you haven't even seen it, but so you don't even know. So yeah, she didn't see it. Anyhow, the violence, you've got giant monsters fighting each other. It's not gratuitous violence. There's no gore. I don't remember like seeing any even real blood, but there is violence in that sense. It's intense. The film is intense because it's putting it from the perspective, oftentimes, from a human. A human's in their house or in a building, or unfortunately on the street out in the open, and these giant creatures are fighting in front of them, destroying everything. So it's that kind of intense perspective. There's a little bit of a scary monster movie aspect in that sense, but it's not intentionally scary. It's just to be terrifying that, what am I going to do? I'm in this crazy situation. So there's that. Mature content, there really isn't any, other than there's a little bit of innuendo talking about maybe the monsters have to do natural behaviors, but it was just one joke. And then political agenda, there is the Mother Earth, love Earth kind of thing, treat Earth well, but that I don't think is a political agenda that was put in. It harkens back to the original. The original Toyo films that came out in the 60s and 70s with Godzilla, they were a response to Hiroshima. They were a response to man breaking the atom and creating, using nuclear power, nuclear radiation, the effects of that. So that honestly was the heart of where Godzilla came from in the original storyline, that Godzilla was a response, an Earth response to man playing God in a way by breaking the atom and power and destructive power of it. So anyhow, that is, they follow suit in this film. So that being said, all right, so Godzilla, this one has not seen it, Violet's not seen it with me, Rhapsody has. I grew up watching the classic Godzillas where someone would be in a suit and they're on wires and they're slamming into someone else in the suit. A Mothra or a Ghidorah guy would be flapping in a three-headed dragon suit, and then Godzilla would come and boom, and Godzilla would run across the model sets, explosions would go off. That's how I grew up watching that, loving that stuff. Neither of these girls have seen it, but I've gotten Rhapsody here to watch Godzilla with me.
Kong Skull Island,
Yep.
and Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Yeah, and you really enjoyed them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, man, this Godzilla is just awesome. So good. So
Great monster films.
yes, and Warner Brothers is making their monster verse. They want to create more and keep building on it, and I certainly hope they do, because this film was fabulous. Any reviews that they say it wasn't good, I don't know what's wrong with people. I don't know why, because it's a great, fun film. Once again, Doesn't have to have a stupid agenda. It's just a great film to enjoy and sit back and go into this other world. The storyline is about there's a realistic viewpoint with the story. If these things exist, what is the world's response? What is the world government's response to coexisting with these crazy creatures that, as they call them titans. So the storyline, I think, is kind of a very realistic perspective of, all right, these things exist, what do we do about them? Doesn't have to be a strong story. They didn't need it. Instead, I think Warner Brothers did the right thing. They just want to build this universe where these monsters exist, and one of them is the alpha. One of them controls the other, and so they had to build that establish it with this film. The human side of the film, there is a decent storyline about redemption and responsibility, and I thought it was wonderful. And it didn't have to have any need to push a pro this, anti that, nothing like that. A lot of films these days have that. I saw, as I stated, X-Men Dark Phoenix last night, and there was a little bit of an agenda in it, and it distracted me from enjoying the film. I read the comics, and I'm like, why does that have to be in there? It's not necessary, because the comic is so great in and of itself. The storyline is so great in and of itself. But I feel like so many studios these days are feeling pressured to put some type of political, social view in their films, and it's not necessary. This film doesn't have that, other than what I stated about the whole Mother Earth thing, but that is just staying true to the original stories that were made in Japan. So yeah, what would you like about it, honey?
It was a good monster film. I just really liked it. I don't know, I like these films. They're good.
Yeah, once again, it's going back to just enjoying a film for being fun and a great method of escapism. It's a story, and that is why, another reason why we've got this channel, to the love of movies, the love of great stories.
Yeah.
That's what cinema is, and we're losing that. I believe we're losing that today by, even watching this channel is deviating from going to the theater and enjoying having that theater experience. Godzilla, King of the Monsters, Godzilla Behind Me, Kong Skull Island, those are theater films. You cannot enjoy it the same way on your little iPhone or your tablet. It's just not going to happen. You need a theater giant experience. It's like going to see Avengers Endgame, or instead of going to the movies to see Avengers Endgame, I'm just going to watch it on my iPhone. Totally different. You're not
going to experience
everything. No way. There's absolutely no way you could capture everything that was shown on a movie like Avengers Endgame on your iPhone. And same thing here. Godzilla King of the Monsters is so big. The visuals are so stunning. The visuals are amazing. Amazing. Oh, I was like, wow, this is legit. The CGI was top notch. Unbelievable. Anything you disliked about it?
I didn't really dislike anything because I can't think of anything that could make it a better film.
I agree. That's a beautiful statement, because I'm like, usually you dislike something because you see an event or a scene where you think, well, I could have done something different. Godzilla King of the Monsters, it really wasn't. They fleshed out the story of Godzilla really well. They even, spoiler, they show you his home. It's like, what? It's so cool. It was just, I loved it. I was geeking out about the whole film. The production value, quality.
It was good. They did a great job on all the monsters.
Yes. The CGI. The CGI and the interaction, it wasn't just like the CGI when the monsters fight is good, but no, when the CGI was seamless with the humans running around the streets, and the monsters are fighting around them.
It just looked real.
It was awesome. Oh my gosh, awesome. And the storyline is just great. I just keep going back to the storyline. I think about it. The events that happened in this film are a few years before Godzilla King of the Monsters. And Kong Skull Island takes place in the 70s. But they take some of the elements from Kong Skull Island, that the story that's been revealed, the revelations, they build upon it. They talk about it in Godzilla King of the Monsters. The events that happened in Godzilla are still there. Las Vegas is still gone. If you saw Godzilla in the first one, the first Godzilla, Las Vegas got destroyed. It's still destroyed. There's a side effect that happens whenever these monsters, wherever they are emitting radiation, and it causes a side effect to Earth. But it's cool. I really enjoyed it. What about the actors' performances? You've got you girls haven't seen Stranger Things yet. We'll get to watch that. But Aladdin, the actress Aladdin, Bobby Brown, Millie, I think that's her name. Whatever. The girl who plays Aladdin in Stranger Things is in this. She's great.
Mm-hmm.
What about the other actors?
They did a great job, reacting to the monsters. Like, what would you do in a situation like that? They did a great job.
Yeah. A 400-foot
Yeah.
lizard. I don't know. I don't know how I'd react. I'd probably scream like a little girl. I have no idea. CGI was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I don't scream. If you like Jurassic World, then you loved it when the Anonymous Rex fights,
Yeah.
T-Rex and all that,
The raptor.
and the Raptors. If you enjoyed that, this is like 100 times more. It's just awesome. So go see it. Don't listen to the poor reviews. People, I don't understand what's wrong with movie critics today. Reading most movie criticism today, it's like I only hear a slant that there's not enough about this social injustice. There's not enough information about what's going on here. There's not a stance on this ideology. That's irrelevant about movies today. Movies should not have that. So just go to enjoy a film, people.
Yeah, movies are supposed to be something you enjoy, not something you listen to for a political agenda.
Yeah. I mean, we get that enough already in the real world. I go to the movies to escape that. I don't go to the movies to get browbeat with more of your beliefs, your views. And we live in America where everyone has their own opinion. It's great. Everyone has their own free. That's the First Amendment. That's the beauty of it. But when I go to a movie, I'm paying my hard-earned money, and tickets aren't cheap these days. It's $12, $15 a ticket, and taking my family. So my dollars, I want to go and just have it be entertained. And these films do that. Aladdin did that. Godzilla, King of the Monsters did that. Avengers Endgame did that. These just great films that are out there. So anyhow, thank you all. Hope you enjoy it. If there's any other movies or video home releases, let us know if you like. If you're wondering about Lego Movie 2 on Blu-ray or 4K, if you're wondering about How to Train Your Dragon, any new releases, family films that came out recently you want us to review, let us know. Comment below. We love films, love talking about films, love to hear y'all's thoughts. Alright, and if y'all saw the movies and disagree with us, think that we're crazy and that you dislike them, let us know. Let us know why. Alright, y'all. So
Goodbye.